June 16th, 1994.
Beauty. That's the best one I've hit.
Golf. Those who love it with a passion, like club maker Ely Callaway.
I wouldn't call it love. I would call it more of an addiction.
Blind champion Patrick Browne.
Have as much fun playing golf now as I did before I lost my sight.
And novelist John Updike.
What other sport holds out hope of improvement to a man or woman over 50?
Tonight, golf stories, the tales of three addicts.
This is ABC News Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
Chances are, if you're still with us tonight, you are a golf fan. Even if you're not, since almost 25 million Americans play the game, you're either related to a golf addict or have one in your immediate circle of acquaintances. I work for one, and so I'm obliged to treat the sport respectfully. Golfers, you should know, bought $1,335 million worth of equipment last year, which brings us to our first golf story of the evening. It has to do with Ely Callaway. Mr. Callaway retired some years ago as the president of Burlington Industries. He thought they should have made him CEO. They didn't, so he quit. He settled near San Diego in the wine country and started a little vineyard. Did quite well. Callaway wines have their own following. But one day, Mr. Callaway found this golf club that he particularly liked. Not the kind you join, the kind you swing. He sold his vineyard and bought the golf club company. Did reasonably well in that respect, too. The golfers among you will probably know the Big Bertha. I'm told it's the best-selling golf club in the world.
There's almost no product I can think of that can't be improved. We sat down and we took a golf club, which has been around 300 years. I mean, it's not a modern product that relates to the communication highway. It's not an electronic genius-produced product. It's a golf club. When the Big Bertha driver first came out at $250 per club, most of our competitors, fortunately, thought it was too high priced. That's what we wanted them to think. We started making Big Bertha in 1991. Every club that we make sells as fast as we can make it. My golfing career, if you can call it that, as an amateur, started pretty early because I had a misspent youth. I spent it on the golf course. I think I won my first men's club championship when I was about 15. That was in LaGrange, Georgia, at the Highland Country Club, which is still flourishing.
Robert T. Jones, Jr., Bobby Jones of Atlanta, Georgia, the greatest golfer of all time.
My mother's first cousin, once removed, was Bobby Jones. I did not know him personally as a kid because he was too famous to bother with me. So when I was 10, he had already retired as the Grand Slam champion.
Now notice here that I'm gripping the club mainly in the fingers of the left hand.
Bobby Jones made these instructional films in 1931 and 32, and they were played in 25,000 theaters all over America for about 5 years. But over the many years, between the early 30s and 1985, 50 years, they became lost or abused. It took me 2 years to find them. Bob Jones came closer than anyone else ever has to creating and maintaining sufficient self-control the control of his thoughts and his emotions in competition. It is the most difficult game that man has ever invented, in my opinion. It is really a difficult game. That's as good as I can do.
157 and 28 left.
Why do I think people love this game so much? I wouldn't call it love. I would call it more of an addiction. And that's a mystery. Having played the game for 64 years, it's the only game that I know of where the battle is fundamentally a battle with the self. You cannot achieve perfection. I've never known a golfer yet who was really satisfied with the game that he just got through playing. I've never known one, because the goal is always just beyond your reach. The point is that when you do hit a shot, and you hit it really square on the sweet spot, it's one of the most satisfying athletic exercises that anybody has. There are 14,000 golf courses in the United States. Somewhere around 300 will be built again this year. And there's no evidence at all that there is any decline in the popularity of the game of golf. It's nice to have you with us. And what is the purpose of your visit? They tell me they've got 11 golf courses already in China, and they tell me that they've got about 45 more golf clubs, either in planning or under construction golf courses in China, and that within 10 or 15 years they'll have quite a few more. There you go. I just simply want to make an enjoyable golf club and do it well. That's my business philosophy. I'm not very big on long-term planning. Mainly I'm a risk taker on golf. I'll try to go over the tree instead of around it.
When we come back, one of golf's great champions, although you may not know his name, a 17-time national winner, the country's best blind golfer, Pat Browne.
Through the ball, Patrick. Through the ball.
Tempo and throw it. There it is. That's right down the line.
Everybody that
Really no.
picks up a golf club, I think, is trying to do their best, and there's an intense desire to learn a little bit more about the game and to get better. And so
Down the line. I think that's
we still spend an awful lot of time practicing.
a little short. Right at it, but short.
Blind golf
Okay.
is a game that is played by one who is totally without sight with the aid of a coach. Blind golf is a total teamwork sport as opposed to golf, which is an individual game.
Same thing. That's going to be a little longer. That's about 5 feet
Yeah.
passing to the right.
Hit it hard. I lost my sight in February of 1966 in an automobile accident.
Made it. Yep. Got time.
As to why I decided to even try to come back to a game as difficult as golf is it simply that I love the game, and I thought it was worth taking a chance to see whether I could hit it again. I wanted to know whether I could do it again. And we did it, and once I hit it solid, I was hooked again.
I'm Jerry Barouse, native of New Orleans, and I've worked with Pat now for 18 years. The coach is really plays a lot of different roles. One is almost acting as a TV commentator to the blind golfer. Obviously, it's describing the shot that we want to play, being able to choose a club, and really position the blind golfer so that the easy part of it is to make the swing. Flew probably 3 feet short of the hole and rolled about 15 feet. It came out really well. Best round that he's ever had is 74 out in Palm Springs at Mission Hills. Best round we've had here at the country club is 78. that was a good stroke there. I've had a tremendous time working with Pat. It's something that began as a challenge for both of us, and has evolved into a great friendship and mutual respect.
I'm president of the Hibernia Homestead and Savings Association and an attorney here in New Orleans. 90% of my life I'm looking at people and I'm judging, putting a face on them based on their voice. The imagination has got to be a great part of a blind person's life. Well, I've been known to swing the club at my office and cause some divots in the rug, and likewise to do the same at home, where I, on one occasion, hit the wall with my 7-iron, which of course caused my wife to repaint the wall, which led to the carpet being replaced. And by the time we were through with it, we had a brand new kitchen.
The first group off will be Pat Browne and his coach, Jerry Burroughs.
I've been participating in the United States Blind Golf Championship since 1969.
That'll work.
We play 3 tournaments a year, one of which is the Guiding Eyes at Mount Kisco, New York. I've got some wonderful friends from all over the country who are blind golfers. I see men that have a great desire to excel. I see men that haven't let total blindness prevent them from going ahead with their lives. Joe Lazaro lost his sight in World War II. He's been our national champion 7 times. Bob Andrews is the president of the United States Blind Golf Association, and he's coached by his wife, Tina.
Good shot.
He lost his sight in Vietnam. It's a great bunch of fellas, and all of that is made possible by virtue of their coaches.
Now get!
Jerry Burroughs is absolutely the best coach that has ever coached blind golfers. We have won 17 national championships. You'll never hear me say that I won the national championship. You'll always hear it, we won, because it's a teamwork game. There should be 2 names on the national championship trophy.
Like that a lot.
Have as much fun playing golf now as I did before I lost my sight. And I would have been a regular weekend golfer. But we've had an opportunity to play all over the world. So it's, the Lord knows what he's doing. Tough game, huh? I had many great experiences playing golf with my dad as I was growing up. And my son, Patrick, I dreamed that one day he could be my coach. And I know that Jerry and I will work together to see that that comes true. Good boy. Let her finish it, champ.
We asked one of America's great novelists to share with us, in his uniquely expressive way, the bliss that he finds on the golf course. When we come back, John Updike at his home course in Hamilton, Massachusetts.
Swing, swing. All right, baby. Be good. Head down. I never touched a club until I was 25. Then, on a shady lawn in wealthy Massachusetts, a kind of aunt-in-law showed me how to hold her driver and told me, after one swoop at a phantom ball, that I had a wonderful natural swing. Since then, in many weathers, inner and outer, amid many a green and winding landscape, I've asked myself what the peculiar bliss of this demanding game is, a bliss that at times threatens to relegate all the rest of life, including those sexual concerns that Freud claims are paramount, and those even more basic needs that Marx insists must be met, to the shadows. The immensities of space, beside which even polo and baseball are constricted pastimes, must be part of it. Only the sport of fox hunting asks so many acres of Mother Nature, and a number of New England's good old courses, myopia right here in Hamilton comes to mind, were engendered under the hooves, as it were, of the horsey set. To see one's ball gallop 200 and more yards down the fairway, or to see it fly from the face of an 8-iron clear across an entire copse of maples in full autumnal flare, is to join one's soul with the vastness that, contemplated from another angle, intimidates the spirit and makes one feel small. As it moves through the adventures of a golf match, the human body, like Alice's in Wonderland, experiences an intoxicating relativity, huge in relation to the ball, tiny in relation to the course, exactly matched to that of the other players. From this relativity is struck a curious silent music that rings to the treetops and runs through a Wagnerian array of changes as each hole evokes its set of shots, dwindling down to the final putt. The clubs, in their nice gradations, suggest organ pipes. There is a bliss to the equipment, too. The festive polyester slacks, the menacing and elevating cleated shoes, the dainty little gauntlet the left hand gets to wear, the leathery adhesion of the grips and the rifle-like purity of the shafts, the impeccable luster of the pre-day-glow orange ball. A beautiful simplicity distinguishes the game's objective and the scoring. One stroke, count one. William Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury opens with an idiot watching a game of golf, and he grasps the essence well enough. They took the flag out, and they were hitting. Then they put the flag back, and they went to the table, and he hit, and the other hit. That's how it goes. Golf appeals to the idiot in us and the child. What child does not grasp the pleasure principle of miniature golf? Just how childlike golf players become is proven by their frequent inability to count past 5. There is a lovable injustice, a comic democracy, in the equality, for purposes of scoring, of a 300-yard boomer from an elevated tee and a 3-inch tap-in. Or, let's not forget, a total whiff, the most comical stroke of all. Oh boy. How did I get into this? A ground out in baseball or a tennis ball whapped into the net are not especially amusing. But bad shots in golf are endless fun. At least the other fellows are. This is beginning to look hopeless. The duck hook, the banana slice, the topped dribble, the no-explode explosion shot, the arboreal ricochet, the sky ball, the majestic OB, the pond-side scuff and splash, the deep grass squirt, the cart path shank, the skull, the fat hit, the thin hit, the stubbed putt. I gotta concentrate now. Oh, don't swing so hard. Easy. What a wealth of mirth is to be had in an afternoon's witnessing of such varied miseries, all produced in a twinkling of an eye by the infallible laws of physics. Hope you got all of that. And the bliss of the swing. The one that feels effortless and produces a shot of miraculous straightness and soar. I'll take it, we say modestly, searching about with a demure blush for the spun-away tee. Just a few shots around keep us coming back. What other sport offers such sudden splendor in exchange for so few calories of expended energy? In those instants of whiz, ascent, hover, and fall, an ideal self seems mirrored. If we have that one shot in us, we must have thousands more. The problem is to get them out, to let them out. By jingo, there is life after death. What other sport holds out hope of improvement to a man or woman over 50? True, the pros begin to falter around 40, but it is their putting nerves that go, not their swings. For a duffer like Yours truly. The room for improvement is so vast that 3 lifetimes could be spent roaming the fairways, carving away at it, convinced that perfection lies just over the next rise. And that hope, perhaps, is the kindest bliss of all that golf bestows upon its devotees. Yeah.
If you wish a video cassette version of Nightline, the cost is $14.98, plus $3.95 shipping and handling. Call 1-800-ABC-9420.
Nightline is a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.